bleeding into this mic, but let's then dive into what we're seeing, right? Let's look at the tangibles. Let's look at things we have in front of us. Let's talk about composition to start with. We know the maps now. We're starting out on split here. We got a really nice welcome back into things, but FPX aren't going for the same look here. There is some adjustment.
Yeah, there is. I wasn't totally blown away by the Killjoy yesterday. Zesh said there was some pieces he liked. I feel like there was maybe a bit of planning before that, and it wasn't really executed yesterday in the series versus Guild. This, I mean, it's kind of give or take, right? The only problem being really is the counter ability of these traps.
Proactive beginnings.
Very, very quick, actually. We'll be dealing with the trap wire, but FPX have already slipped through mid.
Correct. What a response in kind. This is a great little, not necessarily a counter directly, but it works very well. Information garnered, but Durka almost needed more than that, which is such a tall task. Still going to take Zipan, but the site's theirs. So already Spike should be going down pretty soon, but this position that they're going to be in, Mike, for the retake is going to be pretty all-encompassing. I want to see what Alpha A can really create here. He's
been noted on the footsteps here, and yeah, there you go. The pinch from Shao is perfect. Sugetsu coming back to give him a little bit of support. So man advantage now further forward for FPX, and most already tagged up, actually dropping out of heaven.
Yeah, this is going to need some individual heroics, and the position's going to be hard to work with. It's a 3v2, Mystic and Enzo. Now, again, look at the positions. Look at this post plant. Enzo trying to isolate what he can, and Mystic's actually capitalized towards Angel. That's not bad. But can they even work towards the defuse? Keep your eyes towards Shao. It's all around the world, and that's good from Sugetsu. Gonna find Mystic, and there's Shao coming through. So already a perfect pistol. And I think that's going to set the tone, Mike, because we had the aggressive beginnings over towards a almost intuitive counter, whether they knew it or not, with that fast piece up middle, but it looked good.
It definitely did, and Shao playing that late lurk perfectly as well. With the gravity well just to buy a little more time. Plant was obviously good for Heaven. So I don't know, maybe with this adjustment back to Cypher, we might see a little more choreographed in terms of executions here on attack, at least for FPX. There wasn't, like I said, there wasn't an awful lot built around the Killjoy. We did see a little bit of post-plant cheese, whether or not that was just the comfort level that FPX was looking for yesterday.
Durka going for a little bit of an exploration, and well, doesn't find what he wants. And I do want to look at Artis. That is one of the people that I do want to keep my eyes on, is how well he suits this KO right now, and how much does that kind of fit into this roster here. I'm supposed to looking to try and pick up the slack, but it's not going to be a pretty picture, is it? Mystic maybe hoping to catch people off guard, but again, FPX looking pretty drilled at this point.
Mystic's got himself into an interesting position, but I think initially the Boombot's going to clear him. Alfio will bait that one in a little bit, so he's still checked upon. All four members of FNATIC actually, yeah, does bounce back to clear, so Mystic is identified. Sugetsu will deal with him swiftly.
Yeah, this is this should be part of the course. I feel like everything's gone according to plan here, right?
Yeah, absolutely. A couple more to find. Both are actually going to find one as Angel, but it's only a ghost upgrade here. To get to 70 HP. Gonna drift in towards Mail now, actually found out by Enzo. So it brings it to a 3v3. Artist actually quickly gonna further that man advantage here. Should just be a matter of time. Shao will find Boaster. Enzo, last one standing here for FNATIC. Ghost in hand. 1v3, whether or not you can remove another weapon. Obviously it was Angel and Sugetsu to bring pistols into this, so FPX should be on damage control here.
Zipan. Yeah, that's job done. Yeah. All good. 3 alive. Rifle remains. Now, of course, the votes at the start were quite FNATIC favored, right? I think a lot of people just on face value alone will look at this and go, FNATIC good. They have Alpha and Durka. I mean, it's a really fair assessment, but I think it's a little too skewed because I feel as though FPX, again, have had a pretty decent record against FNATIC, not obviously besting them overall. I think it's like a 3-4 historically against each other. So again, relatively close. But what sort of expectation now we're in a best of 5 do you have this sitting at? Like, where does this actually lay with you?
I think in terms of obviously the form we've seen from FNATIC has been a lot more exciting, probably a lot easier to be excited about FNATIC than has been FPX. But I think, although it's a fair assessment to say, yeah, people are almost sleeping on how good FPX have been. The peaks have been very good for FPX.
Yes, I think people wait to see that consistency hit and everything else. And speaking of, Zipan is on the hunt. This is aggressive as all hell. And he did spot 2 players there, did note 2, but he'd lost his life for it, unable to really convert much towards Boast, who did make it out of there quickly, fell into the loving arms of Alphair. But Angel getting the best of him.
I feel maybe a slight overstep there, not anticipating a lurk outside A main. I mean, Zipan's unfortunate not to find that kill onto Boast. It gets him down to 46 HP. FPX have a chance to follow up on this. They know a weak player is towards A. Not that is where they shift their focus. It's looking as if that's going to be the case, Lauren.
Yep. Oh, this. He's going to take control towards Heaven. Flash through. Ooh, not pretty, but it's fine. No one was there anyway. Doesn't particularly make too many differences. Artist sitting just towards Heaven, waiting for the moment. Angel already doing a fair bit of impact work, finding Alphair and taking him away from the side. But you can see FNATIC just trying to buy time. Enzo's still on the site, but now he's going to be isolated. Utility invested. Artist going to know Boaster trying to dip across, almost baiting him in towards it. Enzo does get to, but the site's still under control. And this is the Artist you want to be seeing. The impact player who can do serious work for 10 seconds now. That Spike just getting to site. Can anyone cause tragedy? Not for now. Spike now down in a 3v2 advantage, but Durka still stands, and there's always a chance if this man's alive. But it's Mystic to make it count. Already Shao, though, just going to be holding the line with Artist. Lovely work from FPX, who have, I've got to say, Mike, they look like they've turned up and mean business today. Yeah,
I mean, this looks a lot more calculated in approach than what we saw yesterday. Whether or not that was FPX maybe, I guess, not showing as much respect to Guild, who did feel a little flaky yesterday from what we've seen, but this is looking a very clean start so far. This is very well considered. It feels like it takes an eternity to actually get to site, but
of course,
I think that's really calculated on their part.
And I do think when we kind of talk about this as well, when we discuss FPX and FNATIC, their kind of history together, a lot of respect between the two sides. The way this game works out, and that's got zero respect to a Durka just gonna body Angel. He's not particularly backing away from this just yet. Artist is now on duty. That's a rifle loss. That could be a huge boon to the FNATIC side. Oster looking a little curious, but that's going to be the feet spotted on the cross. The smoke not quite covering enough. An Artist well aware of this. And Durka not noted TPing away. So still very cautious of this. And just about gets out of there in time.
Has to get away from the knife there. This is going to be the null command popped on behind this from Artist. Let's try and convert this 4v4 into a site execution. Mystic just, he's going to get trapped off by this fragment now, down to 20 HP. Another little corner to play, but the fan knows that he's isolated. Actually catches the flash there, but Artist still going to clear it.
Okay. I like that they kind of kicked into safety mode here almost, FPX. It was looking a little bit shaky, especially when you still have these players standing in Artist. It's not an easy 1v2 to be looking at, but he's going to find Enzo towards CT, Sugetsu and Shao going to catch the drop down. Everything's kept safe. 4 standing, even after an initial loss. I really like the kind of tempo that FPX are bringing. It's proactive, it's taking space, but it's not over-aggressive. They're not falling into their traps. They're not really allowing much room for Alphair and Durka to do any individual damage. It's all tradable. It's all towards sight. This is really nullifying the impact that these players can have.
Yeah, I think the difference to compare yesterday to where we saw Split versus Guild is this feels a little, the pace is similar, but it's a lot more proactive, right? They're actively looking for these engagements, whereas yesterday FPX had the freedom to kind of shift walk around the map. Guild weren't really, willing to go toe to toe with FPX, so already finding this value early on. Speaking of that, Durka going to deal with Angel, who's been problematic on this lurk outside A main.
But look at instantly, it frees up someone like Alpha here to now just kind of roam the map, sit to where he feels like it's necessary.
Interesting Viper's pit as well, actually. This is almost to deny what you expect FPX to do in the mid round, right? After conceding the first blood, they will...
Is this a good read?
The priority towards mid, Mystic's got a judge behind it as well, so...
It's not nice. That's not nice at all. Like, means to an end, sure.
You kind of have to tank the decay to walk into this towards the rope as well, so... Almost unattainable here. This paranoia is going to be huge for Boaster, though.
Artist still punishes him. And now Mystic is really in the unfavorable scenario, but that early rotation, that freedom that Alpha had from Durka holding that longer line towards A has allowed that quick rotation towards the site. And I thought that dip through middle could have been to try and punish maybe that rotation if they'd identified. He then becomes freer once that operator comes out. Not the case at all. FPX left with just 2. And, nasty work. Sugetsu gonna have to do more, though. It's a 1v2. They're both backside a pillar. Sugetsu, you've got 20 seconds. And they ain't far from you, but that spike may as well be in Narnia. And there it is. Facing together, nice little kind of back and forth between the two. Operator retrieved, all good for FNATIC.
You're right, though. Actually, Zipan had an opportunity with Mystic pulling away from the Viper's Pit to make sure that he could almost trade out that kill onto Boaster. There's an opportunity for Zipan to come. You can just see on the minimap here at that exact moment he's actually come back towards Garage. So unfortunate timing for them. I mean, can't really bank on finding that kill onto Boaster, but Ardis has done well to find it. Only 2 to survive here for FNATIC, so... Actually, Dirk already on that tour de force, so the operator purchase going to be thrown back in. They have something to offset this next one.
Is this the A piece that we saw a glimpse of before? I'm curious to see where in that post plant potentially, if it gets there, we see Angel sat towards. But they still need to take the site, right? It's a long list of things you've got to achieve. And Alpha already going to tuck himself towards site, so going to sit towards that by Enzo. Dirk now kind of shifting through towards CT. They give a little, but they still maintain the vast majority of the structure. And actually, Mystic kind of locking them into this. A little bit of an underhand flash to try and maybe clear ropes, but no one's really biting on it as Mystic once again re-establishing control and actually claiming Sugetsu on this. That's huge. And really, FPX have taken a little bit of space, but they haven't been able to springboard towards site just yet.
No, FPX were desperate to try and isolate that kill and rope, so Mystic's done really well. Alpha will find one.
Lovely.
Durka, another with the operator here.
Beautiful.
Just one left to find. Ardis slowly making his way through. Durka's got the read, though. He's on it. Okay, Ardis still. Find the wallbang onto him. Alpha is there to clear things up.
And I like this from FNATIC already. Just the adjustments for that take. Just, you know, as said, Alpha slipping through deeper towards site. Last time, I think he tried to, you know, a little bit more proactive, trying to play a little bit deeper, trying to, you know, get into the faces. Angel actually outdoing him, which was a little surprising in that regard. But I like the adjustment, sitting deep on the side, creating those crossfires, just locking them in towards heaven. There was no way out. Like, yes, Ardis does very nicely there, but the overall look from FNATIC was gorgeous. This is certainly a good look for them that they've already kind of shown now, hey, don't worry, we've got that A piece worked out. Okay, and now I've got to say for FPX, right, they've had that B piece kind of dealt with. They're struggling to manhandle Durka, who's been now getting quite mobile. I'd say a timeout's going to be on the horizon if they don't have another answer to this. Already, Alpha gonna find Sugetsu and Durka doing damage. They're finding early success. A huge piece now for the FNATIC side. Post it. Chip damage on Shell, but no kill.
So FPX respond to this is 2 very early kills. Now FNATIC drift away from mid, give FPX what they want initially. Again, these site holds, though, are just going to be cemented here. Trapwire will give it away. Alpha now on red alert. At this point here, I mean, the one-way will slow things down. FPX do make their way into Mail. And Boaster actually perfect timing on the cooldown just to get another one up. And we'll find a kill on the back of it as well. Angel will fall.
I actually love that, playing with intent behind the utility. Nice work. FPX can't really just rest on their laurels here. And yeah, Ardis has been doing damage, but this is going to need more than that. Mystic could be caught. Yeah, nice work from Ardis, sitting on that wider swing, punishing Mystic as he fell back towards stairs, but now the rotations are on way. Enzo and Alpha en route. Durka going to slip in towards main. Keeps his life, but you can see that Ardis is desperate to do damage, but it's just not coming out with Durka. There's now Shao. Position noted, 13 seconds. I mean, this one's cooked. But still, I've got to say, FNATIC have instantly stamped authority. As soon as that operator's come out to play, this has been systematic. Lovely response from FNATIC. I wait to see when FPX pull the plug and hit the timeout marker, just to maybe address what they do here, because they've hit a bit of a brick wall.
They have, yeah, and that early economy they had built up now dwindling a little bit. Did just notice, I think, the timeout getting called.
They're having success here and there, Mike. It's not a complete, you know, shutdown, but oof.
They are, and we didn't really need to see FPX rely on any sort of adaptation yesterday. So whether or not this is going to be a pace change, or, like I said, maybe we do see them resort to a more choreographed approach here on the attacking side. FNATIC have been doing everything right. Like I said, dipping their toes early on, finding these early engagements in the last couple of rounds, and getting out of the dodge. Like I said, they're happy to give up this space, because you can almost anticipate what FPX do after conceding the first blood. They're going to shift walk through. They're going to try and readdress some of these key areas that are huge success factors for them. But FNATIC have done very well to control that. Ardis already having a great start. Great start today. Sorry, and compared to yesterday, didn't look overly comfortable on the KO. 11-4 so far. Just coming into round 8. On his second ultimate as well.
And for me, I mean, he is the potentially tailor-made poison to dealing with some of this early aggression coming out from your, Durka potentially in Alpha here. But it's such a lot to ask for. If you've got someone who's fragging out as well, it's going to be so difficult for him then to convert that as well into, okay, I've got to be the utility man. I've got to play almost entries on this. I've got to be the first man forward. That does change the dynamic in which he's trying to play. This is now going to be a hard game for him to try and get that balance right. If you're having a hot game, it's going to be an interesting one to see how he fits into this. And that's what we're looking at with the KO is, does he play it to the role specific, or can he keep going as he is as the powerhouse? But leading the way as stands, Boaster tucked in the corner, actually does get suppressed and spots Zipan, and this is can't be lockdown work. Enzo, back of the site, seemingly also just too aware almost of what's going on. You can see the switch up there as well, as Enzo previously was towards that A site, switching on over.
And Boaster has to show his hand once he's revealed, but Enzo good for the support.
What to say though, Mike? Zipan a little quiet here. Now, yes, the scoreboard-wise obviously looks it, but where's the impact? I want to start seeing him find that form here as well.
It's been unfortunate in a few scenarios. I think back to the round where he was close enough to find that kill onto Boaster and ropes, but again, in terms of the pace that FPX usually play, it's hard for a race to really create that space.
True.
When it's this
Very
constant
true.
shift walking, you usually lean more towards some of these all-out site executes where Zipan does shine historically. So I'm almost curious to see what the adjustment is for FPX if this does continue. I mean, it's 4 apiece now. FNATIC have built back into this pretty well. There is a gap towards B right now. With Boaster donning the judge, he is going to be picking up Heaven, so Enzo's got work to do. He does have his ultimate, though, so he can definitely slow down a site here, but not with that null command being popped, Lauren.
This is huge. Boaster's trying to close the gap. You can see him trying to slip closer, and he needs to. He needs to. About 5 seconds ago, he can't get there quick enough. Enzo only good for 1, and this is the right response for FPX, and off the back of that, ult coming out from Artist as well. Massive work. Speaking of ults, another one goes to the site, securing the safety, ensuring that no one can peek in from Heaven, which is where you can see currently 2 of the FNATIC players are holding from. Make it 3 pretty soon if Durka does go up there, but this might be a shutout. But again, these players can do magical things in Artist. Just noting a barrel there. Alpha here going to slip through. That's a nice shot for Artist. Dirty little angles played. Those Mystics still around. Curious probably where Durka is, but again, if you know that he's got the operator, which is in play, probably going to try and keep it. Mystic! Trying to do some heroics here.
He nearly found the second as well.
Straight up Batman diving in. Durka still going to find to get to. And I'm getting a little bit worried with the cash as well. In mind, you want to keep these rifles up as best you can. Try and build into this one. And you're not going to be able to get that away from Durka, who's sitting on 7k regardless. So FPX have found a response. I don't think it's one to go across the ages, right? But it did the job.
I mean, it's a response that maybe isn't replicable unless Artist can get his ultimate back, because I think the setup there, the full intention is for Enzo to slow down a hit. Make sure that he pops his ultimate. It gives him the best opportunity possible to slow down this hit. Mystic's actually pretty unfortunate not to find the spray transfer here onto Angel. From the top rope. Nearly found the double, but... Yeah, it's interesting to see if now that FNATIC tried to use this setup once again.
Switch up.
Yeah, Durka now the one to pick up B main. No knife invested at the start, so it almost is a good indicator that FPX are probably going to lean towards mid or A. Especially now with it showing... I'm not even sure if that caught
Did it catch Boaster?
I don't think so, no.
Okay.
No, he's just used his smoke, so...
So yeah, going in a little blind to this. They don't have the information they'd want. They don't know of this new position coming out from Durka. They don't know of Boaster's position. Maybe that one-way's got a little bit of a tell to it. Maybe they can kind of start piecing together. But it looks like this crunch towards A. So we get to see that Enzo Alpha hold towards it. Mostly dedicated towards ramp. We've seen that on quite a regular basis for Alpha. So I do wonder how much FPX are aware of this man's position. And now he's feeling like he is on the chopping block. But normally good for it. Alpha is going to get 1 spot. Second gets the second. He barely even saw Artist. The third just out of reach. Speaking out of reach, the rotation. Boaster hits the TP. He's across on site now. Enzo's got support. Oh, you're absolutely right. Durka's in their spawn. This is madness. And there's the ult coming in this time. Enzo locking this out, and Durka just lurking in the depths. This man is on the way. much can he see from this? So he can watch the cross, essentially. He's in such a dangerous spot. They have no idea. You're not even considering it. And there goes your life. 10 seconds now. It's all gone. Well, Pete Tong, it's unrecoverable at this point. And the positions are perfect. I love that Bosa took that TP, got himself towards side, backs up Enzo, all off the loss of Alpha here.
It's a similar approach to really what we saw on B site. This one ultimate completely slows down the hit. Again, well played from Durka to be there early enough to make sure, obviously, with Sugetsu still being alive.
Yeah, watching this back in the time bought by this man. Unreal. Getting the second there is massive. They could have potentially then tried to springboard towards the side. There could have been so much more room for them to play with. But him finding two, just so much value. And then obviously Durka just deep on those back lines.
Yeah.
Really nice.
Oh, he's done really well. I think Angel actually initially faked some steps towards Suez. We're actually going to see. We're going to see the combo here. The pace show over the top.
Oh, yeah.
Doesn't actually catch Zipan. Escapes a little bit. And so close by. We'll whiff on that one. But Althea should be good for the counter peek here.
Yeah, if that drops, he's going to have a whole lot of info his way, and he's chomping at the bit. You can see it. He's waiting for it. Zipan's had a nightmare, and Alpha's got one, gets out of danger, tees up Mystic on the swing, and that's lovely work. Good synergy between the two. Xiao's still sharp as ever, but it's irrelevant at this point as it's a 1v3. The trades are so good. FNATIC playing as almost this pack animal. Beautiful to watch. And it's rare to see FPX struggling for answers. I don't feel as though they've been able to really get a grip on what to do here. They're falling at the front lines, Mike. They're not even making it that deep into these rounds, potentially. And 17 HP just ain't enough to play with.
It is. In fact, they've done really, really well to adjust
of course, he's there.
how FPX are playing. Yeah. Durka will be the one to find the killing blow. Actually put themselves one round ahead here, leading into the final round. See where the ultimate sits. Only Zipan sitting on the showstopper, who is still at 1 and 9.
Yeah.
Again, it's been tough because in these rounds where FPX have been stacked up early towards hitting a site, FNATIC have just done so well to find these opening engagements. So well played here between Mystic and Alpha. Yeah, eventually, Xiao finds both of them, but at that point, the hard work is done.
And I really enjoy watching this because there's something about seeing FNATIC pushed further, and look at this combination work. Durka tried to be the point man. Now, this time, Zipan does get to slip through, and he really wants some success. He needs something to go his way. Now, FNATIC are aware of the intention, but they've really only noted that one man committing so far. But there could be more, right? They have no idea what's behind that wall for now. We know, though. There's a slip towards the other side. Mystic catches Angel. Nothing can go right, it looks like, for FPX here. The rotation wasn't even a bad idea. They sold enough, but it wasn't quite enough to pull FNATIC away from these sites.
How are they going to slow things down? Supposed to go for the wallbang, but a lot of utility posted towards them. Xiao and Ardis actually find kills here, so giving FPX the advantage.
Players I see remaining. I'm not right enough yet, because it's already down to a 3v3, and look at the buy coming back out. It's not pretty, and either's that. Sugetsu, catch you at both hands. Alpha here creating space from heaven. Pain shot goes in, and they're just trying to clear the back of pillar, force them into a little bit of a more uncomfortable scenario. And it's beautiful. It's really quite lovely to watch.
What a beautiful recovery in that round there from FNATIC. Again, the first kill comes onto the plant. I think the smoke on heaven just a little too slow from Xiao. They tried to get the open plant to make sure that they can have a more comfortable post-plant hold, but Althea finds the first. The showstopper comes up. That goes onto Sugetsu. He's then got the paint shell to punish even further. So well played by FNATIC.
I feel as though,
here, just the moment here where the smoke takes a little too long. Althea finds the headshot.
This is such a high caliber game, though. I think we're getting quite a treat between these two. I do hope they're able to keep this sort of caliber up through a best of 5, though, because they can be pretty taxing, but really nice so far. And 7-5, the recovery from FNATIC was excellent, considering the start was brilliant from FPX. They had what they needed. They were doing exactly as the doctor ordered, but need more of that. Xiao.
A lot of info there, actually.
Yeah.
Especially with the knife to follow up. It catches all 3 members of FNATIC here. All the next to play. Alfia actually...
He walks it.
He just walks it.
I guess that's what you get, right? The man just walks on up. Now, it does get traded. Zipan did get boasted, so it is 1-for-1 traded out, but Alpha is not particularly stopping either. He's got the support from Durka, and they're carving a path themselves. Alpha is just unstoppable right now. Literally unstoppable right now. Finally, Angel puts it down, but there's always Durka on the back line, and it's just impossible. He just walked that. There could have been someone CT. There could have been someone just, jiggle peeking from heaven, potentially. There could have been anything. Back pillar, doesn't matter. He's read it so well.
He's so good at just being unorthodox. Just being brazen here in approach. I mean, Xiao's almost thinking, it's like, yeah, I'm holding a great off angle here. But he's hard cleared. What a crazy pistol round from Alfia.
And this young man, you've got to say, and I wish we'd spend more time exploring who this player is, because this should be a filler round. There's frenzies, sheriffs, and odds and ends for FPX. But I do hope, genuinely, going into Copenhagen, we get to see the best of him, right? Because LAN can make and break players. And again,
especially young players as well.
Absolutely. We've all seen the notorious story of the guard, right? We're aware of that fable. Yeah. And God, watching the online season leading into Iceland, I mean, everyone thought, okay, these guys could have something, right? The players, incredible, Trent, all of them, super talented, and you saw what happened. So. For me, I want to see how he does. Yeah,
that's a really interesting point, because I think the thing that EMEA teams historically with their first LAN appearance have struggled with is the pace of the game, right? And Alfia plays at a pace that probably matches that.
Absolutely.
So it's going to be really interesting to see.
No, I do think he's one of those kind of just raw power players. And this could get costly if any more lives are lost for FNATIC. I feel as though the round's probably safe, but... hey, I could be wrong, but
30 seconds.
Let's have a little look. Boaster Court having a little nap there.
Spike planted.
Alfia tagged up as well.
Yeah, but Boaster seems just out of it in this round. They're swinging from pillar. This is a little dangerous. It does allow artists to slip closer. Yeah, this is suddenly getting a little bit more dangerous here, and they seem completely unaware that artists could have already dropped down. Enzo now called upon, 43 HP, and has to deal with artists. And FPX turning on a dime, and it felt like FNATIC just, I don't know, lost focus for a second then.
That's actually a huge flip for FPX.
For sure.
To come back in here. I think Enzo's the only one to bring a pistol in here. So I'm not even sure how it's going to sit overall. I mean, Alfia already on the showstopper, so they do have a swing factor in this round. But it's a very quick approach. I mean, slapped down initially by Zipan, who finds another one, I'm pretty sure, here. Yeah, onto Mystic. But I almost feel this is a little bit of a fumble in the post plan. Like you said, Boaster out in no man's land. Then the re-peek from Xiao catches him when there's no real threat towards sight just yet.
This goes here.
That's an interesting trap wire. That's an anti-Alpha trap wire right there. This is the sort of thing, again, we're talking about how counterable some of these Cypher setups can be, particularly when you're playing against a proficient Raze. But this is an interesting adjustment. I think it's because Alfia's got his ultimate online. We're expecting that double satchel out, maybe up towards rafters. Ooh, okay.
Ooh. Love a little spam, especially if you get Durka for it. That's not bad.
Kind of second as well. Alfia down.
Yeah, this man is absolutely on the luck right now, just
Spike down A.
Pulling out the perfect cards.
And what's crucial here is the fact that Sugetsu is finding these kills. It's early enough as well that he's kind of protecting his setup. It's not going to be noted for the next round. They're not getting close enough to really see where these trap wires are. That is important. Just to note here. We'll back away though, because he's down to 20 HP. Just ends over with a sheriff. If you can find anything, make it not a flawless round for FPX. It'll be the saving grace. That's not the case though.
Age 7. After the way the pistol went, Alfia casually almost getting an ace. I thought, well, looking forward to Icebox. But hey, the grit that FPX are bringing out right now, that turn, it has basically brought this game back. But
wait,
yeah.
I didn't even notice actually. I think Sugetsu's adjusted the trap wire at some point there, maybe when he pops the cage. So I was just talking about him protecting his setup. Laura, it's really interesting to see actually that he'd adjusted it to hide that setup. Wants to make sure that it's doable here. Maybe when he pops the cage to kill Dirk or Alpha. Yeah, I didn't actually notice it in the round. A little bit of probing towards mid here from FNATIC. Mystic set up outside 8. Looks as if that's going to be the end goal here. Especially with the pings in the pre-round and with the spike down in sewers. So maybe we will see the Sugetsu setup tested anyway.
Let's see how he does with this.
You got to assume it's Alpha, yeah, to lead the charge here with a double satchel.
Absolutely. Up towards rafters, Ardis. Lovely timing.
Oh, wow.
Lovely timing.
Yes.
5 of them noted. Rotations are on the way. And if they cancel the plan now, they're going back into the unknown. They kind of almost have to commit to this at this point. FNATIC, though.
40 seconds. Yeah.
An artist tries to close the gap. Notes one on the way through, but can't really deny Alpha here, who's going to find one. And FNATIC still bursting correctly towards the site. This is unbelievable. Zipan does find Enzo, but this would be a lot. And maybe he's got a lot. Takes out Alpha here. Couldn't get the ult off. Boaster takes the wind out of his sails, and Shao left in a 1v3. The HP is low, but the positions are going to be tough to break. Durka down below and 2 on the site. And Shao's going to lose a little bit of that timing, going to lose a little bit of noting where these players could reside by trying to clear through by ramp.
I'm going to dig this out. 2 members tagged up, actually. Mystic, the next one on the chopping block at 46 HP. Both are still nice and healthy, but Shao definitely making a go at this one.
They're walking pillar. Yeah, I really like that. The timing was really good. Not allowing any opportunity, but that entire round felt like it fell to pieces in a matter of seconds after what was the perfect knife.
Yeah, it was, and it's actually really unfortunate to see Alfia still find entry through that. She's just short. Actually, I think did the satchel deal with the trap wire?
Not 100%
interesting.
sure.
I was excited to see it just because it was a really geeky setup to just counter what I think the assumption FNATIC's approach will be. Zipan's unfortunate there to get caught off guard with the showstopper. I think actually with one member being low HP, there's potential to find 2 with it. FNATIC answer back, and actually operator in play here for Shao. It'll be interesting to see if you can find any value of this. He is positioned towards B main. Only member here with 2 towards mid for FPX. FNATIC again set up heavy outside 8.
Yeah, the creep towards ramps coming in. It's going to be a lot on Ardis. Now, they've actually noted a barrel, which almost might be a misread of information as to how much is over by B, but they're still sticking around here. It's Ardis against the world. The underhand flash was, I mean, he gets one, which is quite surprising, but he sees a lot. That's a lot of information. TP taken. Angel, the waited for it. Swings around and Boaster commits. Now the last 2, what do they do with this? 38 seconds. Fancying a dip maybe through on rotation. Shao with the operator on the other side. Yeah, I can hear everything. That's going to be spike noted as well. It's going to fall away to a deeper angle and just play time. He's got support as well. Zipan already coming on over towards heaven, and Enzo now surrounded on both fronts.
Yeah, Sugetsu already picking up the slack here towards ropes. Enzo's just going to commit to maybe finding an exit. The economy fairly fragile for FPX. You can see the numbers on the right side.
10 seconds left.
Well, not they even want to go hunting here. It doesn't really suit them as much, to be honest. But they will. Sugetsu good for the trade. 3 survive.
Yep.
Should be able to share the wealth here in this scenario.
I just realized as well, Alfia's first land is going to be potentially with a crowd as well.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Okay, I mean, we always talk about the environment. You come back to the point you were making, right, with the guard and them noting just how different it is to be out of your comfort zone. To then throw the audience on top of that is...
Dude, it's a whole different world, man. And the thing, I really hope, and this is almost like above table, right? This is just a conversation as we are in a timeout. I hope that FNATIC gets them into boot camps if they can. I hope they're trying to get Alpha used to playing outside of his house. You know what I mean? Like, you can be a god in your own home, right? You're comfy in your setup, your comfort zone, everything feels right. Move that around, desk different height. You pull out the old StarCraft way, bring in a ruler with you so you can measure exactly how it was at home. I remember watching StarCraft players set up and they'd literally measure, like, okay, from mouse to screen to chair height, like everything. I used to love watching that sort of stuff, but I do hope that FNATIC as an org is trying to make sure he is comfortable, because I mean the guard was, I think it was like the complexity
yeah, I was about to say
situation
the pumping the audience sound into the boot camp. It's little things like that that
I hope they are trying to build this man up, because it's a different beast. And I know it's such like a throwaway comment, but even half the players these days who have experience, it's been years since they've been in front of a crowd. Like, you're rolling it back for a lot of these players. But who knows? Maybe Valorant crowds, real quiet, just, nice golf claps. I hope they're not. I want rowdy crowds, Mike.
I think we're just going to get the ranked population in person, so it shouldn't be quiet at all.
Very true. And a fast-paced hit Sugetsu.
Still wins it.
Wow, okay. If this man is going to go toe-to-toe with dealing with Alpha here, just pushing time after time, Sugetsu's on it today. His aim, woo!
Well,
it's
away from him.
Cold sometimes, yeah? Katy Perry highlighted it very well. Sometimes hot, sometimes cold. For now, FPX with 3 alive, keeping 2 rifles and the operator.
And this was actually a really beautiful set piece with Mystic actually lining up that snakebite towards steps. The paranoia one side to force Sugetsu into that position, almost to step into the snakebite. So trying to set Alpha Air up for success, and still finds that first kill. It's kind of crazy. But I love the approach there from FNATIC. Really well considered hit, actually. No surprises there from the playbook. At the point, actually, you tied up 9 apiece. Almost. The point, actually, you look at the funds, it suits FPX way more so, particularly when you consider this ult cycle as well.
Oh, you're right, yeah. I was kind of noting, okay, Dirk has got his, Mystic got his, Enzo's not. And I feel like Enzo's always really good for the correct investment of the ult, so I want to see how that kind of comes through, but for now, mid is being really pressured by FNATIC. Dirk has taken himself up towards ropes, and actually, I wonder if there's a late re-explore. No, okay. I was wondering if Artist was going to kind of re-explore that, but no, he sat on the other side, dips away just a little, keeping kind of that passive control, making sure they can't get too far. But already with the utility invested coming out from Enzo, you kind of feel it's going to be this B piece, but we know obviously it's looking like a 3-2 split, but this time Zipan's there. And obviously Sugetsu as well.
Actually set up for this B piece here. Should only be Sugetsu that's caught.
Oh, the timing coming out here from Zipan is gorgeous. He's done that so well. He wrapped around from the site towards heaven, navigated around the ult, but still Alpha trades it out, but it's still impact. Divide goes up, and Sugetsu needed that frag. Mystic denies it, and FNATIC start building their control towards that B site, and right now, they've got it.
Oh, this actually pops the null command ahead of this retake, so that could be key. Angel does have the Viper's Pit, but expect FNATIC to set up on-site close contact here. The operator going to be a factor in this retake also. Mystic actually pops the Viper's Pit of his own. Whether or not we'll see the counter come out from Angel here.
Yeah, time's a factor.
Yeah, we do.
There it is. Absolutely right.
Well, it's a mess.
Yes. Yes, it is. Slime everywhere. Angel taking a couple of steps in. Needs to clear this quick, though. It's got to be fast. Artist has found Alpha here. You got to speed the pace up here, Angel. You got to get moving. Boaster on the back line is going to spray him wildly. Gets to keeping time on his side, and Artist can only do so much. The one man standing. The time's already gone. And FNATIC get away with 2 and the round.
Huge investment on their part, though, to come through. And actually, on the other side, FPX do throw a lot to claw back into that round. So again, we'll have to see how the finances sit to survive for FNATIC. Do have Durka on the tour de force. It was the other ultimate we did note. But yeah, lots thrown into this on both sides. And coming out, I mean, it's, yeah, actually, FPX pretty much down to will be a part buy in the next if they opt to. If this goes FNATIC's way, and that will be FNATIC on 11. So
let's play.
Talking about it being a pivotal round. It could be a map winning round there for FNATIC, honestly. They can recover here, get another round in hand in terms of the money. It's looking really good for them to close out here. Okay, Angel.
Okay, just do that every round.
Just tap it out, yeah.
To be fair, I have indulged in watching Alpha's stream constantly. That man is on a clock as to how he likes to play. Yeah, so if Angel's been sat there just like, all right, I'm just going to spam down here, see if it works out, absolutely gets away with it. But for now, down to 3. Does FNATIC have anything else to do? They lost so early on. They have no information, no map control. This is actually really rough to try and readdress, even with 3.
It is.
Whichever way they go.
I mean, on the flip side of what I was just saying, if FPX come out here and get close to a flawless, I mean, 4 survive, it's almost right back the opposite way. Because FNATIC, obviously licking their wounds a little bit from the previous. It was only 2 to carry across weapons. Now with the tour de force removed, not really anything to offset this purchase.
30 seconds left.
Which is why I think we're seeing this FNATIC just very, very early on conceding. They have to hold on. They have to keep in mind the funds.
Did you enjoy the tech timeouts last night, Mike?
Oh, yeah.
They were good, right?
Yeah, brilliant. Brilliant.
10 seconds left.
How do you feel about Bren's mustache?
Pretty uncomfortable, I'll be honest.
Yeah.
It's almost like paying homage to... You ever seen Something About Mary?
Which clip?
Matt Dillon from Something About Mary.
I was thinking about his hair at that point, but
no,
it didn't.
No. Well, it wasn't.
Right.
It was Cameron Diaz's hair and that scene.
Yeah, well, you did.
I was just talking about the mustache. So I thought that was the hair we were talking about.
Well, I was thinking Top Gun. That's why I was, you know what I mean, like the tash. It's very in right now.
I think more Matt Dillon. Honestly.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, the other day he was wearing like a floral Hawaiian shirt, so it is a really good
you're
match.
right.
It was a really good
You're right.
match.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely on the money. Yeah, fair enough. Go back in at 10-10, however. A little bit of spam connecting towards Alpha here. These combos. They're so close, a couple of them.
Yeah, they're so close, but they haven't actually landed.
They haven't.
I mean, yes, they're finding space on the back of it here, but it's almost unconfirmed. I don't know what they've achieved on the back of it. And ultimately, with the positioning here, they don't really achieve anything in terms of progress towards either side. So... Chow just literally... well, Boaster's got the same idea as well.
Oh, the flash!
Oh my god, Artist.
You just got slingshot out of there at the same time. That was that was real nice. A real nice flash. And that look... Ooh. Sometimes I want to be a viewer, you know? Just sat there, Sliggy's stream open, big chillin', and just enjoy watching everyone just pogging in chat. But that was real nice. And again, a 2-man advantage, and you're like, okay, if you're gonna get 2 players out of FNATIC, who are you gonna get at the start of the round? I'll take Durka and Alpha here. Nice.
You would argue the 2 biggest scalps to claim.
For sure. Absolutely. Now, Boaster, Enzo, and Mystic, once again in this predicament, they've got 20 seconds. Okay, try and pull off the slight hit. There's still so much utility. With FPX, it's going to be really hard to make this work. Boaster's taking a good amount of space, but they have to clear Sugetsu, who I feel is going to be good for one, and that's it, even better. It's the spike. Doubling down, getting to Boaster can do very little about this. It's irrelevant at this point, and FPX starting to take control. This is something special. These initial picks, Mike, I was worried that they wouldn't be able to replicate it. That mad shot from, who was it? Angel through the smoke one towards Alpha Air, right? But again, look at this work coming out. Oof.
Beautifully done. There's time to perfection as well. The double swing from Zipad just to find the second. And just coming back to the discussion we were having, obviously with FNATIC saving through the previous now, they're very offset in terms of the purchase. You can see them toying with the idea of what to throw into this round. I mean, man. 2 hero guardians here, but Boaster down to 500. He's almost committed to a judge in the next. Or a Spectre. The exchange in mid early on. Lots of utility drawn out.
Man, this battle for mid, it is... Oof. Boaster praying for that pick. Extremity work. Lovely. Mystic bodies down Artist. That's gateway open, but do they even consider that Angel is here already? Taking back that space, Mystic walks through nonchalant, still finds Angel. This work is impeccable from Mystic. answering right back to him and actually looking at Sugetsu's position deep towards CT. Can't play from the site this time, trying to do a little bit of damage on the way in, and Alpha here down low, but he's still going to keep his life until then. Zipan from heaven. Now the spike is going to make its way through. I'm looking to see if anyone's going to try and deny that. Sugetsu getting a little... Okay, it was just for the... I was wondering if he was going to go even further, not to be, but they now know the positions.
Do indeed. Here's... We'll finally get the spike plant down. A man advantage here for FNATIC, and those hero guardians certainly doing the work so far. Now, actually, Boaster tucked in very deep. A late piece in this post plant for him. It could be pivotal. Actually, the paranoia will reveal his position, but FPX not really finding any progress towards 0-1 for 1. Actually, Sugetsu doubles down.
How is Sugetsu still doing damage? But time, Mike, they're running super low on it. Mystic is just going to try and play it to the clock. Gets one, can't get the second, but time has gone. Sugetsu, lovely work, a good attempt, but that scoreline closing right back up. This is the game I wanted. This is the game I wanted. 11-11 could not be closer. And you were talking about the money for FNATIC. I mean, that was just by the skin of their teeth to get this buy coming back in.
Absolutely was. If I'm not mistaken, it was 2 Guardians and a Sheriff, right?
Mm-hmm.
So to convert this round, this is why I think FPX are so adamant. They just want to make sure everybody falls here. Whether or not FPX are going to have a totally rounded out purchase with how the last few rounds have gone. Yeah, even actually enough to get the operator in play. They're tied up 11 apiece, and now with that round win, it makes it even more awkward because FNATIC tapped out financially here. The next round is going to be tough. You look at the Ultimates, Tour de Force, not there. Alpha investing the showstopper previously, a million miles away from it now. So this is a very precarious round for FNATIC.
What do they bring out this time? Because I've got to say, like, FPX have really addressed mid very nicely. They are really locking down mid in a nice way. It's been a lot of back and forth, and some of it hard to replicate. Sure, you know, you can talk about how Angel did, and even Artist to an extent, that shot was still pretty wild, but it's worked out a couple of rounds in a row. But roll your mind back to the start of, I think it was the previous round, I think it was Mystic with that Guardian kind of like snaking on up towards A. Really nice timing on it, getting the punish, but I don't think FPX are particularly out of options yet. I think it's FNATIC who are still pretty much, you know, having to come up with that next option of how to find this repeatable success. But let's see what they go to. Operator is out for Shout. That's on deck. Ult-wise, I mean, Boaster, but a couple not far off. Mystic not too far away. And there's that Operator noted at the very start.
And that's key, that it is revealed so early. 2 members actually, well, there's 2 sets of gunshots noted in mid as well. FPX looking to adjust accordingly here. It's a 3-man hold towards B. Most notably with that operator. But the spike, meanwhile, semi-committed towards A right now. In the hands of Mystic. He's got Alfia for backup. It's a very, expect no less. It's a very deep hold from FPX towards site. Sugetsu just going to play off very deep contact here and does have his trap wire for main. Artist, whether or not that's going to note anything. Yeah, 2.
Yes.
The perfectly timed win. It's key to note at the time here on the clock of when they find that information.
Ooh, Shao. Not being so smooth with it this time. Dirk is still going to be a nuisance towards heaven, but we still know that intention is building towards that A site. There are 2 players here. I know
not to see
around.
a third, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm kind of waiting to see when they pull the trigger to get that rotation going. They haven't. And now look at the danger that's coming their way. Full faith in Artist and Sugetsu. And Artist has delivered, but Sugetsu gets outdone. Mystic with a wallbang. 20 seconds rotations are in. But 4 stand. Enzo in great position. They didn't have control towards heaven. And Angel walking on in with the door wide open. And FNATIC greeting him with a smile. It's Shao with the operator, so he probably just wants to keep this if he can. And I'm sure FNATIC would love to take that out of his hands, but I'm surprised with that knife reveal, everything else noted. They didn't start drifting that player through CT maybe a little earlier. And just left those 2 to rot on the site.
I think maybe an over-reliance on Sugetsu, maybe delivering a 1-for-1 in that scenario. goes without saying it was a must-win for FNATIC, but it had to be clean. So if all 4 rifles are carried across, it's going to be massive for them in round 24. Boaster shouldn't get there. Right? Yeah, just about.
Okay, what does that change much of the money? I'm looking at how much he should be fine to be able to spread the wealth, right?
Yeah, Mystic I think's immediately dropped him out. So, having said that, actually, I mean, off this setup they do go 1-for-1, right? Artist finds the first there, Mystic traded out, but it's the fact that Mystic finds the second that sways that in favor of FNATIC.
Timeout for FPX coming through. Probably the right call as well. They've got enough to fashion a bias. What do we do with this? What have we identified? How do we deal with it? Again, they've started to lose that mid-fight. So the rotations were a mile away. And then, as you said, didn't quite get as much out to get to as maybe they wanted on that side. Obviously, we're expecting a lot of one man to deal with all of that pressure coming his way, but kind of part and parcel of this sort of caliber. But I feel like FNATIC now have worked out a bit of a rhythm here, but it's still very much FPX have options. I'm curious to see what they bring out in this one, though.
Yeah, and I don't think it really calls for much of an adjustment from FPX. No. FNATIC haven't been running away with the early rounds, and it's not as if they're really over-reliant on finding success in mid. They've been winning out in that kind of rotation game, the mid-rounding towards either side. All right. In that regard, I mean, other than that previous rotation, but you could argue Mystic's just done well to find 2 in that.
Oh, this is a nice spot.
Artist 1 off his ult. Sugetsu 2 away from the neural theft. The showstopper is
available.
Going
aggressive? Yeah. I mean, we've seen the knife working well for Artist a couple of times, but now there's support behind this as well. Zipan's there too. First time we've seen this. They have not pushed this deep, Mike.
Durka just looking to fake a little bit. Again, with where FPX are, they're going to know that that's just a bit of a bait. Looks as if the end goal will be
the drift as well.
Yeah.
It's not just the 2 of them. Shroud's coming over as well.
I mean, I'm noting Boaster, when he's going to show his hand, and what he's going to try and plant the seeds. Or how he's going to plant the seeds towards B. Because Shroud's here already. The FPX are already curious.
Okay, that's revealed this positioning, though. Good. Alpha takes a little bit of damage, as does Durka, but...
Good chunk of damage, honestly, to force them back as well.
It's been enough. It's been enough to hold this. Now, I don't know if they noted Shao. I don't think they heard the operator. I don't think they have the full picture of this, but it's a quick rotation. FNATIC instantly turn. And they're going for a cheeky double pump. They're going through...
They turn into the split, actually, yeah.
And they know that, well, Artist was out of position. They know that there's someone pushed deep. And is anyone holding heaven? That's going to find out. That's going to reveal where Artist is currently residing. You can see them trying to capitalize on it, but they couldn't make it there in time. Artist still stands, but only for so long. Durka takes him down. Zipan has to pick up the pace, and now with 10 seconds, as the FNATIC. Did Zipan see him slip in? I think he noted Enzo, but he's now seen everyone crossing. Spike lost, and the round is as well. The adaptation in the final hours takes us to OT in map 1.
Beautifully just structured by FPX.
Yeah.
You almost think their FNATIC are maybe going to have a favorable engagement towards Artist, but he manages to slip away, and ultimately when the kill does come through, bought enough time for FPX to get at bodies towards 8. Really interesting. FNATIC took so long in the early round to set that up. Like I said, the showstopper, it's only a little bit of chip damage, but it stops the push.
Yeah.
The fragment to follow up just to make sure. And that's what leaves FNATIC almost second-guessing themselves.
Oh, man, this is a game. OT, first map in a best of 5. It's going to be a long day. I hope you didn't have any plans, Mike. As already...
Wouldn't have any other way.
True. Between these 2, I feel like it's only right. I'll take this sort of day. This is always a good one. And the difference already, FPX straight up the guts, through middle, quick little pop flash. No one really there to receive, but that's nice. Gonna deny all 3 of them. Tries to tee up Durka, who did do damage last time. If you give him too much control over by main, he will take the most of it. And look at this from Boaster. Timing on the swing is gorgeous. Mystic on the deny as well. FPX just shattered on the way into B. And Xiao's a million miles away from this.
And noted as well. The 1v5 first round of overtime would be huge if he can get something done, but highly doubt with where that Spike's positioned now.
Now, I've not heard this story before of the 1v5, 30 seconds left OT.
30 seconds left.
But you never know. It could be the day. Maybe. 20 seconds now. This story gets less likely.
Yeah, it does.
I'm trying. I'm trying, but... yeah. Yeah, it's not to be, but let's kind of roll it back to the start of that round because it was a shutout. FNATIC just bullied them out of that round.
I think FPX just bank on catching them off guard. Just a totally different approach to how regulation was. And FNATIC handled it so well. I mean, both are actually with the re-aggress after that utility investment towards stairs. Beautifully done by him to find 2 kills. The FNATIC strike first. We'll see if they have any different approach here on attack. The last few rounds definitely didn't go their way. FPX looked well suited for it.
Yeah, you're very, very correct in that assessment. Somewhat similar scenes, it feels like. Alfia going walkabouts, though. This man is brazen, we know it by now. Does get suppressed. I don't know if it caught the other player as well. I'm not sure if it caught Mystic too, but it's enough that they want to double peek this, but you don't get to do that comfortably. Alfia isolates one and Xiao's like, I swear I was ready to trade, but he does at least keep the information that no one's instantly pushed off the back of it. That's one bonus, but they're still going to commit 2 players to this.
We'll see what the next step of the plan is. Boaster hasn't shown presence an awful lot when he's been in this lurking position. Does have the trapwire to deal with.
Oh, this time is great for Zipan.
He just misses the first, but he's going to find 2.
He overachieves Zipan. I thought he just left it a second too late, but it's not the case at all. Making up for it when it matters most.
30 seconds
Spike
left.
has been recovered by Durka. Boaster tries to take a fight, but Sugetsu, positioning's good. Shots even better. Now this story, let me tell you. The 1v4 from Durka. You thought it was all over. Only 11 bullets in the mag. 10 seconds. Easy work for Durka.
Yeah.
Gets to site, gets the plant, and now a 1v2. But you got to remember, Zipan HP, it was already low. But he's got the pistol out, and he's got another! Durka! Oh,
No.
He went to pop the ult!
No way, man.
Zipan's alive on 5 HP.
5 HP.
13-13.
Switching sides.
The last hurdle.
Yeah, honestly, that's...
Oh, if anything, you should almost stick to the classic.
Oh, for sure.
In this scenario. He's done so well to find these 2 kills. And even here, stunned up.
It's ridiculous.
One enemy remaining.
That's one of those moments that you're desperate to just be in that team speak.
Yup.
When Xiao's B-hopping towards default with the classic out.
Okay, and now another timeout. How do you separate these 2 teams? And this is the crazy thing to me that we just haven't seen FPX go international, really. You know, some by unfortunate scenario, some by just not quite, you know, getting to the position they needed to. But I just can't wait to see how they fare on an international stage now. That's the only thing in my mind. Like, I love getting to watch this game because you get to see kind of, you know, we know how far FNATIC can go. We know their depth. We know their capability. But oof.
But this is the culmination of 2 years of momentum, right?
Absolutely.
For FPX. Definitely a fascinating prospect. Very back and forth here in the first 2 rounds of overtime. Again, pretty... I mean, yeah, I'll double down on what I said for FPX's round, right? It was a complete contrast to how they approached regulation. So, well, no, we'll kind of see that trend continue. We're going to see this combo once again. A little deeper this time around, though. Anticipating a fast swing through main towards the orb. Yeah, a little bit of chip damage onto Zipan, though.
Oh. A lot of damage now on Zipan, catching the back of the flak that just came through. Down to 34 HP and barely took a step towards the site.
FPX look to readjust. They'll post up Sugetsu with the spy camp. Look how deep Durka is towards Garage. With Mystic jump spotting mid, FNATIC can almost hold on for the time being, trying to punish this jump spot. That will slow things down for the rotation to potentially come through. FPX hit the second brick wall here. Artist slips through. We'll find the punish onto Mystic, so we'll create an opening here. With Shao actually drifting back towards A main. They have themselves a very favorable fight.
30 seconds left.
Crunch is on.
Alpha is in the discipline corner.
Yep. Enzo. Ooh. Oh, and he had it long enough. The flash finally catches him, it seems, though, but 10 seconds now. Eyes on the spike, and can he make it to the side? 7 seconds on the cross. The spam comes in. Boast is going to get Shao, and it's all on Angel. And it's a matter of moments.
Wow.
As Enzo played that really nicely. FNATIC keeping composed under the pressure.
Definitely. Alpha actually
Switching sides.
shown a lot of discipline there. Not to reveal his position until Enzo's in a complementary angle. Great hold from them towards A side. Like I said, that was massively in favor of FPX. Effectively a full-on 5v2 towards this site. Both are actually, I think, finding both of those through the smoke, right? Yeah, here's the second as well.
Enemy remaining.
Okay. Okay. We go again. Durka exploring middle. Althea testing the waters over towards A. No deeper commits this time, though, from FNATIC. Patience being shown. And actually a different look this time. Spike leaning, drifting back towards the B site.
This Sugetsu tucked in pretty deep. There's 3 members of FPX up towards heaven, though.
Mm-hmm.
This is the perfect read onto this. It'll be an absolute bloodbath, and see if FNATIC decide to commit here.
This is already a really telling sign that they're in the right place with this. They've just got to be careful of that lurk that's coming up. Middle FPX, right place, potentially right time, but let's see what they do with this now. The spike's been halted, but you're right, this will be a bloodbath. Mystic towards heaven, but Shao's already on the case. Denies Mystic. There's a layer to this. There's a second string, and it's Durka. The flash is good. Allows at least for Sugetsu to get the swing on Althea, but the trade's quick for Boaster. Leaving it in a 3v2, and the numbers favor FNATIC this time. Shao connects towards Enzo. Trade comes out for Durka. Shao again. And now the 1v1. 13 seconds. Divide goes in.
10 seconds
Spike picked up, and Durka peeked
Oh
it. The
my
man
god.
has no shame, no just respect for Shao. Swinging into the op like that, Mike. What a way to close out map 1.
Beautifully done. Again,
Wow.
so back and forth, and it gets to overtime here, and almost fitting for how that map went. The regulation was, I mean, both teams really excelling on that front. FPX may be slowing down a little bit towards the end of regulation, but FNATIC managed their economy to pull back from, I don't even want to call it the thrifty round, that Hero Guardian round. Roll your minds back. That would have been map if they'd have lost that round.
God, you're absolutely right. So many key rounds. And let's give as much time to the desk as possible, because this was a long series and I'm sure there was a lot to say. So we're going to head to a break and then back to the desk.